What's up, guys? It's Mike for Sim Racing 604, and welcome back to the showroom here in Assetto Corsa. You are looking at the Tagomi T50, known to most of us as the Toyota TS050. This mod is for Assetto Corsa. It's a paid mod by Virtual Racing Cars. So the TS050, among the most successful prototype cars in history. I think it won close to half the races it ever entered, in multiple Le Mans victories, and just an all-time classic race car. And I'm surprised it actually took it this long to make it to Assetto Corsa in this level of detail, but here it is. So Virtual Racing Cars, who's brought us this mod, started focusing on more recent Le Mans prototypes last year, and they brought us 3, but those all had non-hybrid powertrains. This one has the hybrid powertrain, so it's got the battery storage and electric motors, and more similar to what you're used to from the Kunos cars. And Kunos did bring us the TS040 as part of Assetto Corsa, but this is the first time we have the TS050. You can see me toggling between the different wing patterns here. Just a fantastic amount of detail on this car. Many skins. Of course, they can't use real world names, but the skins look very similar to what we would have seen when this car raced at Le Mans. And the hybrid powertrain is something else. The physics that have gone into this and the level of detail in this mod is just out of this world. So I'm going to spend a couple laps at Spa just explaining how the different systems on board this car work, and then we'll get into some real laps. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so here we are at Spa on board the Tagomi T50. So you'll notice that I'm in the cockpit. You can't hear anything. This is just one of the many sort of nuances and quirks of this car. So I'm going to show you something interesting. I've never seen this in an Assetto Corsa car before. All right, let's go ahead and get this into first gear. Still nothing. And you'll notice we're rolling without the assistance of a combustion engine. So the ICE does not kick in yet. And you might be wondering, well, how do you fire that up? How do you actually drive this car? Well, as soon as we cross 50 kilometers an hour, the ICE is going to kick in, and then we're going to launch just like we've been shot out of a cannon. Watch this. Notice that speed on the speedometer. Just unbelievable amounts of speed in this T50. Just brilliant. Alright, so I'm going to spend the first lap kind of talking about sort of how to drive this thing. So, one thing you're going to notice right away is that I'm taking it easy on the brakes. And, it drives, the best way to describe it is you drive endurance. You drive for the long race. This isn't meant to be a sprint race car. Watch this. So this is what happens. There is no ABS. You can see when I try to adjust ABS, nothing happens. There's no ABS on the T50. There is traction control, which I like to leave at about 3 or 4. But that's it. So no ABS, so this thing is really prone to locking. Let's take a look at that again. Try to brake late, and that happens. So you really have to, as I say, drive it like an endurance car. Don't drive trying to put in extremely fast laps. Well, yeah, I mean, of course you could try to put in fast laps, but it's not meant to be driven over one lap. It's meant to be driven over many laps. So you got to just take it easy, as if you're preserving tires, because this thing will catch you out if you're not careful under braking. With that said, still a good amount of stopping power, especially considering the weight of this T50. Alright, so brakes notwithstanding, what else is there to talk about? Well, we talked about traction control, but no MGUK recovery modes. So there's just one mode available. No matter what I press, I can't get different MGUK recovery modes. How about MGU delivery, or K delivery, MGUK delivery? Well, we have a few of those, so let's take a look here. As you can see on the top of your screen, we start out at charging. Charging does still use the battery power, does still use the electric power, but not to a high degree. And then we have low, medium, high, and then Le Mans. And what that's going to do, if I'm not mistaken, the high mode uses the electric motors till about 250 kilometers an hour. Yes, that's the case. So you can see, if you look on the right side of the steering wheel, you can see that battery percentage. It's at 53, and I'm going to accelerate. That percentage is going to continue to fall as we use more of that battery, that stored energy in the batteries, until about 250 kilometers an hour, if I'm not mistaken. And then the electric motors kick off, and we're running strictly on ICE at this point. We go to Le Mans mode, and I won't be able to show you for a while, but the electric motors continue to work until about 280 kilometers an hour, I believe. It might be 285, 290, something like that. Anyway, you get to use the motors for longer, but of course, that depletes your batteries faster. Now, I will say this thing does recover battery energy, or does recover electric energy nicely, even though we don't have recovery modes. It's not like the Kunos hybrid cars where you can't even do a full lap of Le Mans. This one has pretty good recovery. As you can see, I'm up to 47% despite being on the highest output mode. And that's going to deplete. It's going to get probably down to the single digits before this lap is done. Reason being is I was getting careless at the end of the out lap, showing you guys a few things. And now I've got to use a whole bunch right here, getting up to speeds, as you can see, still depleting. And then about 285, I'm going to say, it stops depleting. So again, we just switch over to the ICE at that point. And that, of course, is all happening automatically. You see a little lock under braking there. Whoops, a little slippery. All right, let's go for a serious lap here. And some of you might be asking, well, I have the TS050. Do I need the TS050? And the answer is yes. This is way better in almost every facet, in my opinion. With all due respect to Kunos, I think Virtual Racing Cars just did this one proper. It's a car that deserved to be in Assetto Corsa from the start, in my opinion. Came out in 2016, so that is... there were still a couple years left in development of Assetto Corsa, and I was surprised that it was never added. Of course, with the success this car had, it would be a logical fit in the hybrid system modeling, but Kunos never either got the license for it or just it was lower on their priority list, but definitely deserves to be an AC, and totally different driving experience than the TS040. So the short answer is yes. And I'll be somewhere around the 2-minute mark for this lap, I suspect. Much of it comes down to braking. If I could brake harder, then I would be significantly faster, but you have to just take it so easy. And the other thing you'll notice about my lap is that I'm understeering a lot. This is a heavy car, and yeah, if you're gonna, if a car's gonna do anything to you, it's probably gonna be understeer. But broadly speaking, again, drive it for the long run. Give yourself plenty of time to brake. And this car will take care of you. It's not... It takes, like, probably, depending on who you are, between 5 and 15 minutes to learn, I would say. It's not something you'll pick up immediately, but at the same time, it's not something, you know, like the roof Yellowbird or something like that, where it's just like, how many hours do I have to put in till I understand how to drive this car? Nah, it's not that. Huge amounts of downforce. You saw I missed the apex there through Radion, but still made it through easily. So I didn't see what that lap was, but somewhere around 2 minutes, I hope. And yeah, I've been a fan of the prototype cars from Virtual Racing Cars for some time. I still believe the Bicolin is among the best cars ever made for Assetto Corsa. And the Revenga followed, and the Vendetta. They were both excellent cars as well. This one takes things a different direction because, of course, it's got the hybrid powertrain. So, different experience, but equally brilliant. As I say, with all due respect to Kunos, I think this TS050 is better than the TS040. I don't know if that's an aggressive statement or not, but I really just think they got this right. I think the driving style is not going to be for everybody. I think people are going to get frustrated with the extended braking zones, but if you can tolerate that, if that's not a big deal to you, then there's so much fun to be had, and the amount of detail that went into the physics in recreating this hybrid powertrain, phenomenal. Alright, where are we at for lap time? 59 dead. Alright, this will be the final lap. Oh, come on. You can see I tried to brake a little later there, and I paid the price. Back end kicked out. You can see even on Le Mans mode of the MGUK, I've still got plenty of battery, so that's great news. Because the Kunos cars are always such a fight trying to keep enough energy in the battery. You know, maybe that's accurate, I don't know. But it seems like it's too much. Like, you can't even do a single lap of Le Mans without depleting your battery, so you gotta be constantly watching it, and you'll look down and it's like, why am I not accelerating as much? Well, you're out of battery, but not so with this T50. Yeah, just a really, really nice drive. A little bit of finesse required. It's going to challenge you as a driver, but just excellent. Putting a smile on my face. Up about a second on the previous best, so I'm happy with that. I think I'll wrap it up on this lap. I wasn't, of course, happy with turn 1, but that's okay. Plenty of life left to try this car again. Ah, who cares? Let's go again. And I really took it easy, really took it soft into turn 1 there. And dead even with my previous best. What was that lap? Oh, best was a 1:57.956. I didn't think I'd be into the 57s. But here we are. Experimenting with more trail braking on this lap. Should help the braking zone concerns. But even still, that initial stab of the gas, or of the brakes rather, gotta be so careful. Oh man, so much fun. Ah, there's that understeer, boys. And there's that braking lock. Couple more turns to go. Gonna experiment with braking a little bit later into the chicane. Yeah, that's what happened. All right, Tagomi T50, aka the Toyota TS050. Such an amazing car. Again, well done to Virtual Racing Cars. They nail it time and time again, and this is among their best. It truly is really one of the best cars to come out of that modding team. So nice, and yeah, you are so nice for watching. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.